What's up, A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. I am back in town, back in Nashville, Tennessee, where the weather is considerably worse from where I was on a undisclosed beach for the last week. But no, I'm back now. Rain welcomed me home, and the Titans have welcomed me back with a win. 1-4 Titans. I know you guys, JT, have been talking about this the last couple of days, including Sunday at Land Shark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville. To where I still have one Titans winning postgame show in the last season and now almost a half. So it's been a bunch of times that I've been not on the show where the Titans have actually won the show, won the game. So we're going to have a great start and a great show here on this Wednesday morning as I knock off some rust. Whenever I take about a week off, I always come back and forget how to do stuff. I will stumble over words. I will say something backwards. So just prepare yourself for that, JT. So let's get this thing off and rolling. I will let you tell the people what they're going to do here in a moment. But we're talking today about, was that Cardinals game a sign of real growth from Cam Ward, from Legarius Sneed, and two others, or were they just flashes in the pan of just reverting to being bad again against the Raiders, who are also 1-4. And so the Titans, can they stack some wins? That's the whole goal. JT, what's up? We got trivia as well. So welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, good morning, Austin. Good to see that the A to Z troops were able to get you home safely after a long and dangerous journey. But good to see you back here this morning. Good morning, everybody here in the chat. Good morning, Randy. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, Guy. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Corey. Good to see all of you guys here today. Make sure you are locking in and liking the show to celebrate Austin's return. Also, make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're liking the Facebook page and hit that share button at the bottom right corner. Share it with a Titans fan as we start today's discussion. Excited to be here. Let's get it going.
Yep, let's do officially welcome to A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is JT Runke. We're Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We are powered by the BTA Sports app. More about them throughout the show, but to make sure that you guys know what to do. You like the show. You share it on Facebook. You give us a 5-star Google review. And now we have to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us. And they help out all of you. Wilson, there it is. Wilson County Hyundai. Make Wilson County Hyundai a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They are local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart, 2 locations in Columbia and Gallatin. And Window Nation, buy 2 windows, you get 2 windows free. No payments for 2 years. Online at windownation.com. So, how nice have the last couple of days been for you? Just the overall toxicity of what the previous month was, JT. The Titans, you're staring down the barrel of it. I know I'm going back in time, and you guys have done this now a couple of days. You and Easton had the post-game show, Zach and Easton Monday morning, and then you and Easton again yesterday. But just has it felt different from the chat? Does it just feel lighter? Are people in better moods? Are people like whistling around the Titans facility now because they're 1-4? What's it feel like?
It's certainly, the animosity has cooled a little bit. Not as much drama. I think the week leading up to the Cardinals, I think it was the most drama I've ever seen from an NFL team in 1 week, and that is generous, I would say, because it felt like every single day we knew what we were going to talk about the next day because of the insane things that went on the day before. This week we just get to talk about a win, which feels a little bit, I will say, it feels a little bit more mundane because it's a win and like everybody's excited and there's not a lot of bashing of heads, especially with a win like that in the way they won it. It's pretty much like you really can look at it from only so many ways. However, I won't say like it's been all sunshine and rainbows and happiness. Yeah. I am currently beefing with the Facebook chat, so that's another thing. But hey,
there's beef since I've been gone.
Yes, not with the Titans, but with myself in the A to Z Sports Facebook chat, which currently today things have gotten off to a better start. So I'll give them that.
Well, it's
But
only been 5 minutes and we just did the
yeah,
open. So
no, yeah,
you
good luck.
haven't done anything yet. So, Clayton says, I'll fire the bum Callahan. So I look, yes, one win to get to 1-4 in no way is going to change the pending firing of Brian Callahan that is currently the case. But I do think there's a lot of good things to get to. So, to kind of give my couple of cents here on that game on Sunday, the Cardinals did some ridiculous things to lose a 15-point fourth quarter lead at home to an 0-4 football team. But sometimes you need the ball to bounce your way. And it's been a long time since it's felt like the Titans have had the ball bounce their way consistently. We've been talking about all the lack of margin of error. It's razor thin or just non-existent for the Titans to win a football game. They needed something goofy like that. They needed, there are three things that piss me off when I watch football games. One, lining up in the neutral zone. Titans did that on the first defensive drive of the game. That's just so avoidable. Two, kicking the football off out of bounds. It's just stupid. Don't do it, right? Just don't kick the ball off out of bounds. And number three is not fumbling the football because you start celebrating too early, going into to score a touchdown on a breakaway. Those three things are literally the most avoidable mistakes that you can make in the game of football, yet they happen just about every week. And that last one obviously has sparked the Titans' comeback overall. So we'll talk throughout all this, but we're going to go through and play a game of real growth or flash in the pan. And so we're going to talk about Cam Ward and give my thoughts on Cam Ward. We'll hear from Nick Holtz on something that I think he has shown. But I do think the Titans, anybody affiliated with the Titans, whether it's in the building that gets a paycheck from the organization, players, staffers, coaches, front office, execs, social media, admins, all the way down to anybody who is affiliated with the Titans, the fan base, and then even the media needed that so bad just to have one taste of victory, to not just be, here we go again, bags under our eyes, dragging through a week of ridiculous stuff. There's a win. You see a little bit of proof of concept in Cam Ward. So we're going to talk a lot about what that win means. And now with like a winnable game at the Raiders coming up next, Brock Bowers dealing with some things. The Raiders have been atrocious the last few weeks. They just got smoked by the Colts. I almost made a Mark Sanchez joke, but I held my tongue. But you get the Raiders coming up, and then you've got the Patriots who all of a sudden might be good. So the Titans can win some games. Marion Hampton, the Chargers running back, is now on injured reserve. He will miss the Titans game. Now,
neither tackles.
Yeah, neither tackle.
It will be the Hassan Haskins revenge game, though. So,
which he doesn't have the speed to fumble too early going into a breakaway touchdown.
True.
But we're talking about a lot of things. So, flash in the pan or real growth, and let's start with Cam Ward on his performance. Obviously, you guys have discussed it. I feel like I'm trying to jump into the team jump rope session here without being here. But let's go to Nick Holtz, the offensive coordinator, yesterday talking to Titans media about what he saw from Cam and something that I have been discussing and talking about really for a little over a month now. But here is OC Nick Holtz.
I always need to throw the fastball, you know what I mean? And then there's other times where it's got to be fit in a tight window and you got to make that catch. I think the good thing about our group is those guys, every receiver, when it touches their hands, they're going, I got to catch it, I got to drop it. And he's going, I can take a little off it and, help you out there. So there's an accountability to it, which is nice. It's not going, they're not coming back to the huddle and saying, hey, you got to throw it softer or anything like that. But there are some times where he's got a live arm and you do have to take a little off it and give a guy a chance. And, especially some of the ones down the field, the deeper balls, we put a little arc under it and let the guy make a play for it too. So it's a balance for him with his arm talent. I think the accuracy and the touch, as long as his feet are in rhythm, it normally works out okay.
So there's Nick Holtz there. Talking a lot about accuracy, touch, rhythm, feet, arc under the ball. So it's something that I've been saying since the preseason game against the Falcons, the old Van Jefferson play. of that Cam Ward sometimes throws an accurate football that is not very catchable. I'm not saying it's uncatchable. It just is very difficult to catch. And I got a lot of heat on Twitter on this show for giving Calvin Ridley or Van Jefferson or other pass catchers that have been dropping the football an out by blaming Cam for some of these things. And I think we still have not seen that seam route to a tight end or Ridley come to fruition yet. But I think Cam Ward, you saw, started to layer the ball a little bit better in that fourth quarter of the game against the Cardinals, throwing more catchable, accurate footballs, because there were a lot of situations over the last few weeks where either Cam was flat out inaccurate or throwing a uncatchable or less catchable football with some type of accuracy that makes a lot of plays that he was trying to force were high-end plays, like high-level catches or throws, and not the easy ones, right? And I think the big thing from the Cardinals game is starting out that drive with some checkdowns. You saw a lot more yak opportunity from Chig, from Tony Pollard, getting out of bounds to keep the clock stopped. You saw those things start early in that drive and then build on the down the field bombs to Ridley. And then obviously the one to the Gunnar Helm was just dropping in the bucket a few times overall. But I think, Mike Bell says, who's disagreeing with you, Austin? That assessment's spot on. JT, you can come to my defense. I had a lot of people disagreeing with me, right? Like in August and early September, a lot of people disagreeing with my take that he was throwing an uncatchable, accurate football a lot of times, especially against the Broncos when he had some of those seams go off the hands of receivers.
Absolutely. And I mean, people were wanting Van Jefferson cut at that point, which I guess it doesn't really make a difference right now, to be honest, given what he's done. But I feel like who's disagreeing with you, Austin? I think who wasn't disagreeing with you is the more
Here's one, question. Jordan. Right, I make millions to catch footballs. Please throw it softer. Ridiculous. Yeah, that's Jordan. I don't know who you are, what you do, but that's just not how it works, man. Like in order to catch the football, especially when it's an outside of your frame catch where it's just not within your body, you've got to have a little bit of touch. It cannot just be out of a cannon. And there you go, Ashley. Jordan is right. Chris agrees with me. His throws are flat. Flat throws are more hot. And if you are extended, it's a harder catch because there's not as much give. So Randy disagreed with me earlier on. So it's Jeffrey, have I ever played football? Yeah, I did for a long time. And I caught the football when I played. I played receiver and defensive back. I know what it takes to catch a one-handed pass. Most one-handed passes have a little bit of arc or downward trajectory on them when they're caught with one hand. So look, it's not that difficult. And this is the thing that not every time. No.
Hey, hit you in the hands. Got to catch that.
That's not how it works, because some guys like Calvin Ridley and Chig are so athletic and have long arms that they can get a fingertip or 2 fingers on the football, but that doesn't mean that they should catch it. Now, there are times that there have been drops. Ridley has been dropping the football a lot up until Sunday. Alec Manor has done a few. There's been Gunnar Helm dropped the football Sunday against Arizona that he should have caught. Again, just not every pass or every time the ball falls to the turf doesn't mean it's a drop or a bad throw or a good throw. You got to have a catchable football. And you hear a lot of wide receivers and tight ends talk about how some quarterbacks just naturally throw a great ball. It's an easy to catch football. Some guys don't. You got to have a little bit of touch. And Nick Holtz, the offensive coordinator, is agreeing with me. And I've been saying this for a month and a half now. That's good. It's a good thing. So also, you still have to catch the ball. Like, nobody's saying that. All right, so let's go ahead and ask this first question and move on from that nonsense before it just gets deeper. So is Cam Ward's fourth quarter versus the Cardinals, quote, real growth or a flash in the pan? So this is what we're going to do a few different times this morning. Is Cam Ward's fourth quarter against the Cardinals, is it real growth or is it just one quarter? And they made great plays. It was nice to see. They won the game, but it's not sustainable, right? Not the outcome of the game, but specifically Cam Ward's fourth quarter performance. Real growth or a flash in the pan? JT has thrown that in the chat. I will create a YouTube poll, an A versus B. So we'll find out what the split is on that one. But first, JT, tell us all about our friends at Botero Carts.
Yeah, Botero Carts. Life is short. Buy a golf cart, and you got to do it with our friends over at Botero. 2 locations to serve you in the Middle Tennessee area, one in Columbia and one in Gallatin. Their new location, of course, being the Columbia one. 0% financing for 36 months. Carts starting at $6,700. Open 7 days a week with a full service sale and rental dealership. They're locally owned and operated as well. No dealer fee, no credit card fees, and a no credit need option. So no hidden fees, and have a plan for everyone who lives by their mentality that life is short and got to buy a golf cart. Make sure to check them out over at Botero Carts.
Also, BTA Sports. It is October now. It's my second show of October. That doesn't mean that your BTA deals are over because September has ended. No, it's just gotten more flexible for you. So with BTA Sports, you can become a better sports bettor. I was in a non-legal sports betting state for last weekend, which I needed a little bit of shake it out, kind of get through the first month of the season. Now I'm back at it. BTA will help you make better sports bets. Tyler from BTA tossed up the Chig 3+ catches for 30+ yards parlay. It hit against the Cardinals. I know Tony Pollard was the play that JT you put out there on A to Z's social of over 9.5 receiving yards. That hit as well. So BTA Sports can help you out with being a better sports bettor, better fantasy football player, and use the link in our description for a 14-day free trial before a $9.99 weekly subscription. That's just $9 for a weekly subscription, but you get 2 full weeks to try it out before you have to pay anything. That's with the link in our description or the code ATOZ14 when you download the BTA Sports app, Better for Bettors at BTA Sports. JT, I will send you to the chat. Real growth or flash in the pan? Cam Ward's fourth quarter performance. I do have a YouTube poll up. We'll give that a couple more minutes to mature, but I'll see. What's the chat saying on this one, JT?
Yeah, Brandon starts us off and says it was a flash in the pan. Ira Hoshi also agrees that it was a flash. Kendall, flash that will lead to growth. It's only growth until it happens again. Terrence, flash in the pan. First time he's done it. Flash in the pan.
Pause. So obviously it's the first time he's done it, right? So we understand that. So, but I don't want people to say until he does it a second time, it can't be growth. I want you to say, no, has this, and I'm not trying to say Cam Ward's arrived, that we can understand, like I said on Friday or whenever it was, that nothing's linear in the NFL, but is this something where Cam Ward's on the uptick of his development and not just had a really crazy good quarter?
Yes.
I don't want to give people an out on happened once, whatever. Yeah.
All right. Flash in the pan, says Eric. Growth, says C. Rich in Tighten Up, Ohio. Edward says real man growth. So that's a double down on the growth there. Brandon says flash in the pan. RAS says growth. Eric says growth. Showed the same stuff in college. Ashley says flash. Jeffrey says has to be growth. Real growth, says Jack. He learns a lot from playing in the fourth quarter in meaningful moments. Growth, flash in the pan. Corey says definitely growth. Cam will continue to progress. Darren says it's a flash. I need to see the consistent going forward to see growth. Jeff says flash in growth. It's 1 quarter. Need to see him throw it together more. Ray School says watching it live felt like real growth. That is for sure for many Titans fans, growing from their disdain of this entire team to actually being excited. Jason says growth. Yeah, so a good mix so far from the chat.
Yeah, so I'm even conflicted on my own question here.
I can go first if you want.
Yeah, if you want to go first. Yeah, because I can see both ways. I can make points both ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna go flash in the pan.
Okay.
Because that's the Cam Ward that you saw on the tape. We talked about this yesterday as well. Like that's what you saw on the tape. It's and we talked about this yesterday. In the mundane, he has looked not great, but when that 2-minute drill or that big moment steps up, he looks incredible. And that's exactly what you saw on his Miami tape. And so far through 3 or 4 games before this, you really didn't have those moments where he could do that. It was a lot of the mundane, and he didn't look too good. You finally saw it in the biggest moments where you got to have it. That's where the cool, calm, collected nature of Cam Ward kind of shows up. And so it for a lack of a better way of explaining it, that literally is the flash in the pan. Like that's what he does in those certain moments when everything else has gone wrong for 45 minutes. Cam Ward shows up for 15 minutes and wins you ball games. And that's why he was the number 1 overall pick. And does that mean that it can't be real growth eventually? I don't know, but like, it's hard to say because of what you said. Like it's the first time he's done it. And it's hard for me to say that that was truly a development in the right direction when that's what he's known for, the majority of his college tape. And I know, Dan Orlovsky yesterday said that the Cam Ward tape is incredible. And I'm sure he has a bunch of his reasons and is probably putting all the drop blame on wide receivers instead of, having it be a little bit more nuanced. But it's hard for me to say that. And Dan Orlovsky knows a whole heck of a lot more than me, but I think most people, if you pulled this chat or anybody else who has watched the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, those first 3.5 quarters looked really, really bad at times. And so I'm sure there were really good things to take away from it, but it is a flash in the pan because that's what we know. It's not great football until it really, really counts and you got to have it. And then he shows up and balls out. Like I said yesterday, if he can start to show that in the more instead of fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, if he can show what he did Sunday in the last 3 drives, say at the 8-minute mark in the second quarter, then I'll see it as real growth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to get to, a couple of comments here. Darren has gone on a string of, in his biggest moment, he threw an interception. Arizona fumbled it. That pick was tipped and is a problem. So I don't disagree that his tip passes are not going to continue to be a problem. I do think
I think it's a difference when you're in a clean pocket and you get that ball tipped. Those are the inexcusable ones. But that was on the run. Like he was outside of pocket trying to make a play. Which
he didn't need to leave the pocket. In the first place.
Fair.
But look again. If you're answering real growth, you're not saying Cam Ward's arrived. Oh my God, here the Titans come. They're going to go to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's just trying to say, hey,
baby.
Yeah, you're just like you've hit the valley, and now it's just like you're starting to turn up. Now it's not always going to stay up, right? But like you zoom out, and is it going to start growing and developing and appreciating overall? So Darren had that one. The Titans got a gift from Arizona interception. That's bad, sure, but like his biggest moment was actually being down by 2 points, got to have a field goal with 1 timeout, and you got 80 yards to go. You're on the opposite 20, and you got to do it, and he did it, right? Like, that's legit. That's a legit NFL moment on the road, fourth quarter, got to get a field goal, and you had the situation, and it's not just that they did it. It's just it's the way that he did it. He converted a 3rd and 3 when you're like when the stadium pulse is going and you got to hit that 3rd down. And then you just rip it down the sideline to Ridley and just a beautiful throw that just was. So my answer is real growth. If we're going to cut to it, real growth for me. I think there's a little bit that clicked. I think Cam Ward is a feel it type guy. And so I think now that he's felt that type of success, that he can know what that is supposed to look like, know what that feels like, and replicate it. And so I think that's why it's real growth, and that I think that we are not going to see him as scattered and as just loose cannon as we had in the first half of that game when he was like 5 of 18 or whatever it was, ugly throwing the football. And then what he was the previous couple of games as well, when it was just like pulling teeth just to complete a pass, just to have a routine completion. And so I think real growth is my official answer. It's absolutely a step forward. And if I go to the YouTube poll, real growth is winning 65% of these votes are real growth on Cam Ward.
We got some more optimists, I guess, in the chat this morning than normal, which is good.
Yeah, and then you got people like growth. LOL. We was down 28-6. If you think about it, no, Roy, you weren't. Like, them's the breaks. Like, that's how football works. Weird stuff happens, and you have to be able to take advantage of when a ball does bounce your way. Like, so the scoreboard did not say 28-6. It should have. It should have. And Gannon would have, an extra $100K in his pocket if it was 28-6.
Which is ridiculous, by the way.
I mean, as soon as I saw that from Gannon, I knew, he's going to get fined. I immediately knew that. I mean, you can't, I understand it was not a lot of contact, but you cannot forcibly make contact with a player. Like, you just can't do that at any level. You can't. Right? You know that, right? Like, I'm not saying, I'm just saying you have to expect to be fined by doing something like that.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the reality, JT. You can't disagree with that. It's just it's a fact of the matter. You cannot make forcible contact like with a punching motion towards a player. You can't do it.
100K does seem excessive, though. I agree with Bork.
That's a standard fine. 100K.
Okay.
All right. So, yes, Roy, really, like you can't count the touchdown. That's like saying that a running back only averaged 3 yards a carry if you remove the 75-yard touchdown run, and like you don't count the touchdown run. No, it counts. It counts quite a bit. So, all right. So I think 67% now are on the Cam Ward growth train. So we'll see how that works. I mean, they have a winnable game. Will J.C. Latham be back? That's what we'll find out as the practice week gets started today. But now we're going to move on to the next level of this game. Calvin Ridley goes for well over 100, makes a couple of huge plays down the stretch of this fourth quarter to help the Titans win this game. Is Calvin Ridley's performance real growth or a flash in the pan? Real growth or a flash in the pan, JT? Tell the people about the Bone and Joint Institute.
Yeah, the Bone and Joint Institute. Don't fumble your recovery. Got to do it with our friends over there. The region destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine, boneandjointtn.org. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. That's why we trust the Bone and Joint Institute, which is located in Franklin with over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help your recovery, whether that is clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, or rehab. They have it all under one roof for your convenience. To schedule your appointment, go to boneandjointtn.org.
And BTA Sports Better for Betters. Once again, use the link in our description to download the app, and you get a 14-day free trial. So 2 weeks to try out BTA Sports before you have to pay $9.99 for a weekly subscription. And you can do that throughout the NFL season. But a 14-day free trial, the only way you can get a 14-day free trial is by using our link or the code ATOZ14. That's ATOZ14. Normally, if you don't use our link or our code, it's a 3-day free trial for a weekly subscription. But we're giving you 2 full weeks of sports betting with BTA before you have to pay anything. Massive, guys. Take advantage of this with BTA Sports Better for Betters. Download the app today. Use our code ATOZ14 or hit that link in the Facebook title or in the YouTube description. That'll help you out quite a bit. So JT, we got the question out there. Calvin Ridley, flash in the pan, a real growth. I'll send you to the chat here in a second, but I know you and Easton talked through some all 22 Calvin Ridley stuff. So I'm curious to kind of get your take overall and maybe refresh the chat on what you guys saw when watching the film from Ridley, throughout that game. The big play early, which we've seen him have an explosive play in the first quarter a few different times, but really in the fourth quarter, 3 plays in particular stand out on Calvin Ridley making some big time grabs to help the Titans win this game.
Yeah, it's an understatement to say that this was maybe his best game ever as a Titan. I might go out there and say that with my chest because of what he did and how he looked, especially with Cam. You go and one thing about, we said this yesterday, one thing about Calvin Ridley is that he can run an out route to the sideline. He's just that's just what he does. Yep. I said that this was really what, like, this is what you expect from, so it's why it's hard for me to say if it's growth or flash in the pan. This is kind of expected from Calvin Ridley. The most encouraging thing, the growth where you can find it, is that the drops were not a problem. I don't remember on seeing on the tape a drop that was his fault, especially that one. Like that play right there that you just saw is one that in a previous game he probably drops. But
this that one too, right?
Like, yes,
that
the one
contact catch right
there.
there.
Triple coverage. Those are the ones that he kind of drops. And so, like, is it growth to say that the glasses actually worked and he's got his confidence back? I think so. But yeah, I mean, the best game from him in a Titans uniform, I think. And even though there wasn't a score or anything like that, Cam trusted his best receiver to make the plays in the biggest moments. He delivered the perfect balls, and you expect your wide receiver one to go get those big time throws, and he finally did it on Sunday. So absolutely a game you needed to see from Ridley.
Yeah, 5 catches, 10 targets, so just 50%. But when you average 26 yards a catch, I think that's
pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. So the way I look at it, you talk about the best game of his Titans tenure. You go back, and I think the only other one you could look at is the one that kind of got him going last year, which was that Lions game where he had 10 catches on 15 targets for 143. Still no touchdown in that game. So what's crazy is he's had 2 100-yard games as a Titan, 0 touchdowns in those 100-yard games. But that, I think, unlocked him similar to this year, because last year before that big game against Detroit, he went for 50, 77 against the Jets, 9-5-0, 42 against the Bills. And a lot of that was that, remember that play at the end of the first half against Buffalo when he went for 33 yards? It was kind of a goofy thing that just didn't matter. The clock ran out.
Yeah.
That was 33 of the 42 yards that he had. Then he went for 143. Then he started to put together 73, 84, 58, 93, 45, 59, 41, 78, 84, 76 on his way to 1,000+ yard season. That's what you're hoping this becomes, because it did feel like the first 4 games before that this year were similar to the first 5 or 6 last year when he was struggling to do anything. And so, this is what I saw in training camp from Calvin Ridley. Like, you and I talked about this last week, that I don't remember seeing dropsy issues. There was nothing like that. He was making plays. He was open. He was beating guys off the line of scrimmage. He was going downfield. And so I'm, for a second poll in a row, I'm going to say it's real growth from Calvin Ridley, because I think, Cam Ward's a feel it guy where he has to feel it to know to do it again. I think Calvin Ridley is just a positive reinforcement guy. And I think he needed it to really open things up and to take more pressure off himself, because I think he got to the pressing point of previously of having these contested catches get dropped.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there where he is a positive reinforcement guy. You go back to a week and a half ago or so where he was available in the locker room, and like you could tell just straight up that this was a guy who had lost a lot of his confidence and needed to find a way to build that back up. It's not because of the the drops or anything. It's just himself mentally kind of was at rock bottom and needed to find a way to rebuild that confidence, rebuild that strength to be out there and be the guy that we know he can be. And I think that's where I point to real growth, is that he's growing back into himself in terms of his confidence level and how he is able to be this guy. He finally catches some of the balls that weren't exactly in his hands, but the balls where you gotta have it no matter what, and that's what he did. Go back. Wish I could just fast forward to that one, but the one where he makes the diving catch, I thought he was like hurt on it because of the way he just kind of goes to the ground and is like, it makes it look hard, but like it is the things you need to see from him, and so that's a great sign. I think this was more than a flash in the pan. It is the growth and confidence, because once he gets back to that and sees proof of concept, like you said with last year, kind of takes off from there. And so hopefully we see that once again, as both him getting started, hopefully Cam Ward showing growth and having better ball placement and things like that. So should be hopefully really good going forward.
Yeah, and that's I think it's a big deal, and especially because these weren't trash catches. Like they weren't garbage time stats for Calvin. They were game is on the line. You're trying to make a comeback. You gotta have it type deal here. And the 3 fourth quarter catches in particular, incredible level of difficulty, and on top of the game situation. So I do really think I really do find it a big deal for Calvin to do this. So I'm going to go to the YouTube poll to see where we're at, because you and I, JT, are both on the real growth side of the Calvin Ridley poll. 57% of the audience is 50 vote. Now it's Joe. Oh, wow. There's a bunch of votes just came in, and it just now went from 57 to 52. So this one's pretty coin tossy right here for Calvin. So 52%.
Someone just loaded that poll up with bots and just
it just went like so like 52%, now 51. There are more votes coming in. I don't even know if I voted yet on my phone. So let me see if I can I'll throw in my real growth vote, and we'll see how that changes things. So it's bouncing.
I'm just very interested to see how that is a flash in the pan given the track record of what we saw.
Like for the people in you who said flash in the pan for Cam, it's that was his 5th game in his life in the NFL, where Calvin's a 31-year-old guy who has now had
27 on paper according to him.
Yeah, of course, on paper. Is that the up-to-date age?
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's where we are.
27, about to turn 28 on paper. He's about to turn 32 in December, I think that is, for Calvin. So he said 3 franchises where he's got 1,000-yard seasons. And so, like, the guy's done it before. I just think, I know that the word unlocked was being thrown around by a lot of A to Z OGs in the chat, the old Austin Hooper callback. But, yeah, I think this is an unlocking of Calvin Ridley type game. I'm not going to say he's not getting 100 yards every day, but I do think now he can get back to where in training camp, we were all saying Calvin could go for 1,300, 1,400 yards, because who else is going to get these yards? Ellick has emerged, but now he's going through some rookie stuff. So I really do feel like this is an unlocking of Calvin Ridley overall. So let's check to see how influenced up. It's still 51% real growth. So very coin tossy.
All right.
Very coin tossy on that one overall. So, okay. Do we need to say anything about Traylon Burks? Because I see people.
I mean, listen, it depends.
It's news.
It is
kinda.
Depends like what you want to say about it, but
well,
I mean,
somebody tweeted me because my take is that I don't think Traylon Burks will ever have 1,000 yards in his career, because he's at 699 right now, and now he's a free agent because the Titans waived him injured like they did after he broke his collarbone. I still think that he is not going to eclipse 1,000 yards receiving in his NFL career.
Yeah, I mean, it will be very, very interesting to see. I mean, he'll probably end up on a practice squad somewhere. I will say, just like he was on the Titans until yesterday, and now he is not. He'll be either a free agent or somewhere else. So we'll see.
Yeah, Nick
That's
says
all I have to say.
it's Traylon's turn to go on vacation because I'm back from vacation. Now Traylon can go on vacation. Yeah, so look, we'll see what happens. Jeff says we need a punishment for Austin if he does go over 1,000 yards. I don't think that's punishment worthy. I think that's people. I think it's a bold prediction. I do think I'm going to be right. And if he gets to 1,000 yards, it's going to take him until like 2028 to get there. So he had 300 yards. He's got a while to go. And Randy says, I hope he proves us all wrong. From the human aspect, sure, but I'm not betting on it. I'm not betting on it. All right, so now let's get to another of Legarius Sneed. We've got Legarius Sneed comments. Real growth, or is this the flash in the pan from Legarius Sneed? We're going to hear from Denard Wilson here in a moment. But first, I'm going to tell you guys all about our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group. Customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. BartonDrury.com is their website. Guys, we all have insurance to some extent. If you don't, then perfect. Here you go. Barton Drury Insurance Group. If you do have insurance, it's probably more than you wish you were paying for insurance. Whether it's your home, renter's insurance, your auto insurance. If you have a boat, you got that too. If you need an umbrella policy to cover other things that are smart to have in certain situations, you can do that as well. If you're an employer like Zach and I, we needed employee benefits to add on top of our workers' comp policy, and Barton Drury has been amazing. What an asset for us as a company to have a partner like Barton Drury Insurance Group to do all this stuff for us. I'm on vacation and stuff's getting handled literally for new employees going on health coverage, and boom, you're getting that set up, and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to lift a pinky while I'm sitting there on vacation because they are working for us to help out with that policy. They're great people in what they do here. They're local to the Mid-State area. They're big sports fans as well, and you can still have a chance to win a free Titans jersey via A to Z if you call Barton Drury Insurance Group and say, hey, I'm trying to save money on my insurance. A to Z told me to call you. 615-806-1265. That's 615-806-1265. You called them. A to Z said you can save me money on insurance. How can I do that? Automatically enter to win a free Titans jersey from us. So BartonDrury.com.
Yeah, also shout out our friends over at BTA Sports. Once again, got to trust them because I don't know if you've heard, Austin, but me and Easton have been doing some betting. One of us is doing pretty decently. One has fallen behind. One will probably have to use BTA a little bit more going forward. But BTA, from player props to parlays, BTA's platform helps you spot value and make sharper plays every week. Use code ATOZ14 when you download the BTA Sports app to get a 14-day free trial before a weekly subscription of $9.99. Use the link in the show description or right below the title on Facebook. BTA, better for bettors.
All right, so I asked the question that we're going to get to about Sneed, flash in the pan of real growth, and Jeff says, what did he do? Fair. But here's Denard Wilson to talk about Legarius Sneed and his clean game against the Cardinals.
That's who he is. That's why we signed him. The guy plays hard all the time. And you never know what play it's going to be. One of the things, especially on defense and really on offense, you always run to the ball. But that just shows you his tenacity, him not giving up. And that's, you look at him over the last couple of years, with the injuries and the way he's progressing and getting better. That exemplifies who he is as a man and as a football.
So there's Denard, exemplifies who he is as a man. Legarius Sneed competing. Now, for whatever reason, my tweet about Legarius Sneed went viral. It has like 1.3 million views because I tweeted the fumble, the DeMarcado fumble before the score. And I said, props to Legarius Sneed for the hustle here. I've been tough on him as of late. This is veteran leadership. And people that are outside the Titans ecosystem were like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Like he didn't do anything. What the hell are you talking about? Because I don't think it was, because I'm not tweeting it for the NFL world.
Yeah.
I'm tweeting it for my audience that I called for Legarius Sneed to be benched the week before because of how bad he was, how I thought arrogant or selfish he was playing with bad penalties, and a lot of just stupid stuff, right? The 2nd and 33 give up on Nico because he's doing press man coverage on 2nd and 33 and doesn't know the play call or didn't get the play call the right way. But you shouldn't be press man covering anybody on 2nd and 33. I don't care. But Legarius Sneed hustled down there. Did he make DeMarcado fumble or let go of the ball early? No. But he was there to signal, hey, whoa. If nobody was there, does it get looked at? Maybe, because it was close. But I think Legarius Sneed immediately recognizing what happened, the hustle, the fact that it was the sign of don't give up on this game. Anything can happen. And Legarius Sneed was in position to prove to his teammates that, yeah, anything can happen. Let's keep fighting in this game. So I'm about to put up this YouTube poll, JT. Legarius Sneed, real growth, clean game. Because you know what he also didn't have? A penalty. No penalties for Legarius Sneed in that game. So real growth or flash in the pan. JT, I can let you go to the comment section. I'm getting this poll set up on YouTube here in a second. But what do you think and what are you seeing overall?
Yeah, Brad says it was a flash in the pan, 0, or I guess Daniel says 0 penalties on Sneed last week. That's growth. I think you can absolutely look to that and see that for sure. Jack says flash. We know what Sneed is. He can lock up an average wide receiver 1. The elites are going to cook him like a Thanksgiving turkey. I'd push back on that because we saw what Marvin Harrison Jr.'s ascension over the last 2 weeks absolutely torched a very, very good Seattle secondary to keep them in that game on Thursday Night Football a week and a half ago. Marvin Harrison Jr. continued to cook Jalen Armour Davis on the opposite side of Legarius Sneed. Who did you not really see anything from after that first quarter?
Yeah,
Marvin
I think it was
Jr.
10 minutes into the second quarter was the last time Harrison made a big play. And then there was like one catch late third, I think it was, for Harrison. And that was kind of it, right? He did all that work on Armour Davis early.
Mm-hmm. So like he had his most solid game, top to bottom of the 2025 season. I think that absolutely can be looked as growth. We got everyone else here. Randy says Sneed did something similar in KC right before a touchdown in a playoff game. Like that's just kind of who he is, playing to the end of the down there. Yes, Jeff, we do realize Sneed did not do anything to the running back. We understand that
that wasn't the point. Like the point was, and several people got it right. That tweet that I had a lot of likes, right? It had like over 4,000 likes. So a lot of people understood the point, but many did not because they thought I thought that Legarius Sneed forced a fumble. No, it's the fact that a lot of Titans fans have been questioning, does Legarius Sneed want to play for this organization at all? He doesn't want to play. He's hurt. He's just milking this injury. He's getting paid, whatever. He's just milking it. And like I called for him to be benched because of how selfish he was playing the week before and the previous couple weeks. And so then he goes unselfishly, chases down a running back the whole length of the field, and is right there to signal, hey, that's a fumble right there out of the back of the end zone on top of a clean game. By the way, Sneed made a big tackle to force the punt by the Cardinals at the 2-minute warning. So I think there wasn't just the fact that he was locking down receivers, that he was active in the run game. I think he was mentally in it, competing throughout the whole thing. So I do think, I'm going to go ahead and say real growth from Sneed. So I'm 3-0 right now on real growth. I'm Cam Ward, real growth.
Okay.
Real growth, and I'm Sneed, real growth. And if you're the Tennessee Titans, you had to have it from all three of those guys. The quarterback's the quarterback. The whole season's about the quarterback who was picked number 1 overall. We know that. But 2 veterans that really had to step up because they're getting paid a ton of money that were underperforming were Calvin Ridley and Legarius Sneed. And somebody asked me earlier, what my current stance is on Jeffrey Simmons. He's playing at an all-pro level. He's a freak. He's doing some amazing things. Amazing things. And you got to have that from Jeff between the lines. I still question his leadership overall. He doesn't need to be the leader number one on the franchise, but he's playing at an all-pro level. And he has cleaned up his dumb stuff since the first couple weeks too. So Jeff is living up to his. And then now Calvin and now Sneed are starting to live up to theirs, especially in that one game against the Cardinals. They took their due. So there you go. That I'm 3-0 on real growth.
Yeah, Clayton or William says real growth. Clayton says flash. Randy says, I have a hard time saying growth with all these veterans. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but once again, like you said, with the quarterback, like the NFL is not linear. Like your trajectory of your career is not just to go one way. Like things ebb and flow for sure. Jonathan just says, I'm picking both options. Very good. All right. Fair enough. I agree that it was growth. Daniel says Sneed made the final tackle to get us the ball back at the end. Great tackle. I think you absolutely can see growth from Legarius Sneed, considering that, I mean, this is his 8th game as a Titan?
No, more than that.
9th?
He technically played in 5 last year.
Oh, so 10.
That was his 10th. Yeah.
Gotcha. So 10 games. I mean, with this team, that would be like, I think for as much of a veteran as he is, like, I think you needed to see that from him, like from a just narrative perspective. You needed to see a game like this where he is one of the biggest reasons on defense why you are staying, why you are being able to come back in this game. And I understand that it was 28-6 or whatever it was, 22-6 in that game. But like Daniel said at the end, making those big time plays, showing that non-quit mentality that I think not only is it a fluke kind of play that obviously the Cardinals gifted the Titans an opportunity to come back, but the effort that Legarius Sneed shows also speaks to why the Titans all of a sudden looked like a totally different team and had hope in that game. Like, I think that's non-factor. So
yeah, I mean, like the Titans defense was bad. They gave up 21 points real fast, and then they locked it down. Kyler Murray wasn't great. Kyler Murray, did he get concussed by the snap hitting him in the face? I don't know, but Marvin Harrison Jr. torched Armour Davis, then he stopped torching Armour Davis and stopped torching the Titans defense and kind of disappeared for a little bit. So, yeah, I think I can go to the poll here and see what people are saying about Sneed. They're real growth too. They're 65% real growth. So the chat on YouTube, the polls, at least are 65-ish% real growth on Sneed and Cam, and it was a coin toss, but slightly on that real growth side for Calvin Ridley overall. So I think obviously you have to do it again. It's just one game. It was just a great fourth quarter to win a game, but you got it. You had to have it. Can they do it against a 1-4 Raiders team? That's going to be a big deal.
Yes.
So getting to 2-4 before Mike Vrabel comes to town is going to be a huge opportunity.
Yep. I agree. I mean, I think that's when all was said and done, if you travel back in time and tell me or anybody else, like, hey, Titans are going into the Vrabel game 2-4, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. So
yeah, 100%. All right. I've got one more little thing to talk about. I think we're not going to ask the real growth or flash and pan on this one. But I think there was something that Brian Callahan did in that game in the fourth quarter that was kind of under the radar. That was smart. Like, that was really smart. It was a good move. Good coaching decision. I'll tell you what that is here in a second. But Window Nation is the place to go if you need new windows. Maybe you've been thinking about it. Maybe you and your spouse have been like, these windows are drafty. You got bugs coming in them. What's your AC bill like in July and August this past year in Nashville? If it was crazy high, like mine were, and we've been in this house for 2 years now, new windows have been on our, let's get settled, let's get in here, let's have that on the list of long-term projects. And Window Nation came along with their best deal of the year in September. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free with no payments needed until 2027 for 2 years. They said, you know what? It worked. Nashville responded. I got new windows. Our sales guy, Andrew, got new windows coming as well. And then other people apparently in Nashville are jumping on this train. So Window Nation said, let's run it back. Extended October. Buy 2 windows. You get 2 windows free. No payments necessary for at least 2 years. There's other financing options you can do with that. They do a phenomenal job. They came into my house. They set up this great presentation to show us what our windows are, what the new windows look like. Here are the different options of windows. You don't have to go to this 3 layers of silver. Did you know there's silver in windows? I got 3 layers of silver in my windows that are coming now. So they're being manufactured right now to fit my home. So they're custom because the other guys came in the week before we left for vacation to get specific measurements. So manufacturing these things for our home. WindowNation.com is where to go, and tell them A to Z sent you. WindowNation.com.
Yeah, also shout out our friends over at BTA Sports. Once again, use our code ATOZ14 for a 14-day free trial before a $9.99 weekly subscription. BTA, better for betters. I think you might have muted yourself.
There we go. Lock in, like the show, King VC Super Chat. I did not see that earlier, so I missed that about a half hour ago. But shout out to King VC. All right. So there was one moment in that game where, because I rewatched it because I was outside of the Titans Cardinals
Viewing
television
area.
broadcast viewing. Yeah. So I was not just had that on CBS. I will not tell you what game was on because I'm continuing to hide my location from all you crazies out there because we're going to go back to that place because it's a lovely area and lovely resort hotel. So I watched it again yesterday. And so something that I really noticed, that this is where I think Brian Callahan has to prove to his bosses, plural, Amy Adams Strunk, Chad Brinker, and then Mike Borgonzi, that he knows how to be a head coach and he knows how to lead this team. And we've talked about all the different things that he's messed up, right? Clock management, timeout management, just do you go for the field goal versus run, pass, whatever, all these dumb things, you know? So there was a moment where the Titans were trying to get the ball back. The 2-minute warning was approaching. They got a tackle for no gain that created 3rd and 8 with 3 minutes to go in the game. So you have your 3rd timeout in your pocket. So what you could do is you call that timeout right now at like 2:55 to let the Cardinals set up for a 3rd and 8. The Cardinals get that first down. If they convert, it's basically done, right? It's done. But if you don't call that timeout, the clock's running, they can't get to the 2-minute warning. So do the Cardinals, what do? They go for that 3rd down conversion and throw the football, risking an incompletion? Or do they just run it to get to the 2-minute warning to give the ball back to Cam Ward? Brian Callahan did not use his 3rd timeout. He kept it in his pocket. I thought that was a sneaky, under-the-radar, smart decision because the Cardinals were kind of in a spot to where you have to run the ball because you can't risk throwing the ball to get the ball back to the Titans with a timeout and a 2-minute warning. So I thought that was a really good move by Callahan because they needed that timeout on that next drive. And it also, 3rd and 8, the Cardinals are running. Like, they're not going to gain 8 yards on a 3rd and 8 when the Titans got to have a stop on a run play. So for all the bad stuff that Brian Callahan has done, and he is still pre-fired, right? I am not changing my opinion right now because they're 1-4 and not 0-5. But that was if he is still out there, if his bosses still have somewhat of an open mind, that is one little thing that if I'm Brian Callahan, I'm telling, hey, you see that? That's head coach Brian Callahan, right?
Yeah, you saw a step in the right direction, I think, for sure. And of course, Keelan in the comments is finding a way to go around that and say, well, he just went up against a dumber coach. So I guess things don't want, and Darren Durant saying personally, I don't think it was that impressive.
I mean, that's a good decision in the moment, right? Is it not?
Yeah, I mean,
is it not
I
a
think
good coaching decision?
it would, once again, I feel like a lot of these coaching decisions, like, if it goes one way for the Titans, it's a good thing. If it doesn't, it's a bad thing. Like, we're always going to look at it with hindsight, but like that was, I mean, yeah, that was correct clock management in that moment. And I think that's the first time we've probably seen, and yeah, I'm not giving Brian Callahan a lot of credit, but like that was the first time that we saw Brian Callahan actually do something with clock management, which is a step in the right direction, I will say.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And like again, he is coaching for his job. It might be already decided. We don't know officially, but Daniel brings up the point that I think you have to ask. Does Callahan make that decision if he's still play calling and thinking ahead to getting the ball back on offense? Because they were on defense, right?
Yeah.
He was still able to, he's not worried about the next snap specifically calling the play like he would if they had the ball, but that's where the majority of his gaffes have been made when the Titans were on offense before he gave up play calling duties to Bo Hardigree. So, and Darren saying, I thought that was standard clock management. I mean, I don't think it's standard. Plus, you got to get, if somebody makes a smart move, you can't just dismiss it as of course. Well, in the moment, that's what we're talking about. You're talking about making the smart clock management decision in a split second, right? And that's something that I did not think about the first go around. It took me the rewatch last night to be like, oh, that was a sneaky, under the radar, really good coaching decision by Brian Callahan in a spot that was important, right? Because if the Cardinals get the first down, it's over. Because now they get it to the 2-minute warning, and you used your timeout, right? And now it's done. But if you save the timeout, then they have to go extra conservative overall.
Yeah, I think there's a conversation like, is it smart or is it common sense or is it, those type of things? Like, it worked out for the Titans, and I think it was important to keep that one there, especially with where they were, because we're not going to get into this conversation, but the going for 2 / going for 1 there, missing the extra point thing all plays into that as well when they, still need time on the clock at that point. And so I do think that, finally a step in the right direction. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I think it's like, Darren says it was smart, but not that complex. I think it's you're putting your opponent in Brian Callahan's decision made the Cardinals run the ball.
Yes.
He made the Cardinals, he decided what the Cardinals were going to do in that spot. And I think that is where, when's the last time Mike Vrabel dictated other coaches by the way he knew how to manipulate things, right? It's that you are now dictating your opponent in the last 3 minutes of the game in the fourth quarter, and you have to score a field goal to win. And you made a decision to dictate their actions. That's a good coaching decision that doesn't just need to be ignored, because we don't ignore any of the bad ones. So again, it's growth. It's a 1 point that Brian Callahan got. So that's all it is right now. But I think at this point we can do some trivia. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, time for trivia. I've got it pulled up, so I will be the trivia master here in a moment. Time for trivia. See how rusty I am. Oop. Just so rusty. So
Not,
rusty.
not bad. Throwing shade at you for being that bad.
Being rusty, but shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. They will help you out with that new ride. Okay, let's get it going here, JT. Is it working? There we go.
See, okay, so we have the over under 4.5, but you've been gone all last week. I don't know if you heard. There's a new queen of trivia, and I haven't seen her in the chat this morning, so I think we're gonna have a little bit of trouble. Ann Herndon is Ann Herndon in the chat is the just unquestioned GOAT of our trivia time now.
Okay.
So, but I haven't seen her so far, so we may be in trouble.
Okay, well, let's see what we can do. We'll start off with the NFL, go around the horn, and finish in the center with celebrity mashup. Here we go. NFL. Bill Callahan was the head coach of what AFC franchise that went to the Super Bowl in the 2000s? That would be the Oakland. Yep.
You got
Oakland Raiders. Oh, okay. So I have to do Las Vegas. Oh, shoot.
I guess so.
All right. Geography. What is the most populated U.S. state that borders Iowa? Most popular U.S. state that borders Iowa.
Populated.
Populated.
Missouri.
So Missouri's one.
Does Missouri border Iowa?
Does Kansas? Who else? What? Colorado? Does Illinois? Chicago.
Illinois.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, we'll go Illinois. Got it. Nice job, guys. TV director of the films Weapon and Barbarian, Zach Kreger, was a creator and starred in this cult favorite IFC sketch. I have no idea what any of that is.
That is Whitest Kids You Know.
Whitest?
Yes.
Kids. Yeah, okay. There you go. Movies. Cynthia. Jesus died for our Cynthias. My name is Jeff, are quotes from this 2014 film. My name's Jeff. I know that part, but I don't.
Yeah, that's I don't know the movie. Isn't it? Wait, is it that feels too early for 21 Jump Street.
22 Jump Street?
20. I think it's 21 though.
22. Or is it 21?
Well, 22 is
21.
the sequel.
Yeah. 2014 is 22.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
Music Box, Rainbow, and The Emancipation of Mimi are names of albums from this 1990s and 2000s singer. I don't know. Anne is here, by the way.
Okay, good. Missy Elliott?
Mariah Carey?
Two different, way different.
Yeah. Chain restaurants. Haunted Habanero is a flavor currently offered by what chain that specializes in wings?
I'm going to say Wingstop. That sounds like a Wingstop thing.
A little spooky season flavors.
I'm gonna say Wingstop because like that's the only like I don't think it would be Buffalo Wild Wings.
I mean, I would think B-dubs. Orlando says
Really?
B-dubs, so does Nick, so does Keelan. Ashley said Wingstop. Ann says not B-dubs. Jeff says Wingstop. We're going Wingstop.
Okay.
Good
Bam.
job, JT. Zach LaVine is currently on what Western Conference NBA team? I don't know. I don't know where he's at right now.
I'm gonna go Kings. I'm gonna say
Ashley
Kings.
just ordered the Haunted Habanero.
Is it Kings?
Kings. All right, MLB.
All know her today. Let's go.
Diamondbacks infielder led the NL in triples in 2000, stolen bases in 99, and had their series-winning hit in the 01 NLDS.
Oh boy.
Infielder. Is this Luis Gonzalez? Was he an infielder or outfielder?
It's a great question.
Come on.
Mm,
I think it's Luis Gonzalez. I mean, that guy was so clutch. That's the only Diamondbacks.
yeah.
Oh. Oh, dang. Okay. So, Sam would know. It was before he was born. That is 100%. I first thought that was going to be
That's
Mark Wahlberg, but it's not on the outside. The chin is not Mark Wahlberg.
Are you sure?
Unless it is. Okay. Okay.
I think it's Mark.
Okay. Who's the
And then
inside
we need
there?
Ann.
Brie Larson. Josh
I
has
don't,
Brie Larson.
I don't think it's Brie Larson.
We're getting a lot of Brees. Okay.
Hmm. Oh, we
Yes,
got it.
double
Okay.
dip. We got it.
All right.
Does anybody know another Diamondbacks infielder besides
Lucas
Luis Gonzalez?
Burke. Lucas Burke says Craig Counsdale.
Oh, Craig Counsell. Ah, God, man, that's a good one. Did we get it wrong? We got it wrong.
Yeah.
Dang it. Craig Counsell was playing for the Braves, though. Who the heck is that? 12%. So
I have no idea.
where's the?
All right, sorry for doubting you, Ann. No, she said that's Bree. She knows her women. We don't question her anymore.
Tony Womack.
Mm.
Yeah, Corey said Tony Womack.
A little too late.
Too late. I do know the name Tony Womack.
Listen,
that's because I played King Griffey Jr. baseball my N64 back in that day. So
listen, I got the NBA one today. So
you did. Terrence says JT broke the golden rule. What's the golden rule?
I have no idea what the golden rule is.
Is it going against Ann when it comes to women?
Oh, maybe going. Well, no, I didn't see Ann's. I didn't see Ann's answer on the women. Yeah, doubting Ann on women. She is the queen of trivia, so we can't.
Okay.
My bad, Ann.
Yes, Ann, where were you? You got here late.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
Yeah, it is okay. All right, guys, that is it for us on JT's alarm's off. That means we've gone too late. We'll see you guys tomorrow on a Thursday. Buck Rising live again for prime time tonight. Appreciate it as always. Titans practice starts today. Whether you look at the Raiders. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks.